Okay, hello everybody and greetings from Finland. And my name is Tiina Nurmela and I work as a principal lecturer in a nursing area. And we have a presentation together with Tuija Leinonen and Teija Frank. And we are talking about the TUAS case, what we are developing just in this project. And actually we have two cases here. The other one is instrument identification, what you already have seen, and the other one is patient post-operative observation and decision making, and this is the case which I'm going to talk with also Tuija and Teija. And the background for choosing this area, operating theater and patient care in there, is that we don't have always access to these practice areas in the local hospitals, and there are so few that not every student can have access there, so and have practice there. So this could be an opportunity to offer these students also this possibility to practice post-operative observation in recovery room. And here is also the areas. So the intraoperative phase, the assisting surgeon and recognition of instruments has already been done and is under piloting at the moment. And the new one, what we are developing, is the post-operative phase, patient's observation. And here is the kind of a card about, or a map, how we are going to develop this 360 video and other videos related to this. So the idea is that we have from the recovery room and then the patient in the recovery room, and the student is going to make some selections, and she is going to select different things what are important in nursing and the observation of these patients. And then there is some kind of guidance in case if the student chooses the wrong option or doesn't complete the action in the correct way. And after she has done all these procedures, the video changes to another phase where the patient's condition observation is done and some actions should be done. And after that, also the patient's condition is going to getting worse, and so there she should or he should act some way. And here are some different aspects what the student should follow, and this is airways, breathing, circulation, disability, and exposure. And all of these the student should perform correctly. And here is a picture how these different actions should be done, and each of these phases contain these different steps. And finally, when the student has completed all the observation correctly, the patient will get, of course, better, and she will be transferred to the ward, and the student has to give the report according to the ISPAR procedure and also give some news points. So this is the basic idea, but Tuija will then describe what kind of challenges we have with this manuscript writing. Please, Tuija, it's your turn.
Tuija, sorry, we can't hear you.
Can you hear me now?
Perfectly,
Yes.
thank you.
Okay, great. Some problems in line. So, some challenges of the manuscript writing. All this was, of course, based on the previous simulation manuscripts. And the first steps was to think about all those possible situations, what can happen in recovery room. And as we all know, there are a lot of things that could happen there. And after that, we have to choose what kind of clips we choose for the video. And after that job, suddenly we had 49 video clips. And next step was to decide how to combine these clips into the 360 videos. And after that, we had a lot of questions. Who will play the role of patient? Who will play the role of nursing student and a nurse? And for example, who is very good at vomiting or excellent at screaming in pain and so on. And of course, we also have to think about how to create different options and choices for the video. How to manage that very large number of videos and how to be sure that they will be there in correct order. And then we think that where to find an excellent scriptwriter and a film director. And of course, I thought that maybe we get an Oscar prize. So who will get the Oscar, and Oscar goes to who? But I would like to ask that, how did you write your manuscript and what kind of problems did you have during this job? Please, somebody.
I expected Cora or Catherine or Marilyn or anyone could join in.
Can you hear me okay?
Yes.
Yeah. I think what we did was start with sort of the scenario first. And I think one of the challenges you've pointed out there was that we had our community nurse, we haven't filmed it yet, but the plan was a community nurse coming into the house to conduct quite a straightforward dressing change with some added sort of holistic issues, such as looking at the home environment and maybe things that would need putting in place to ensure sort of falls risks. But what we found, and I'm sure you found the same, is it then becomes a very complex script. So I think that certainly for us as a project going forward is really important to sort of think about our learning from what you perceive to be quite a straight, and I think that's across all the projects I've been involved with, so what you perceive to be quite a straightforward nursing activity is much more, there's a lot of stages in it. So I think, I don't know if Mike's on the call or James, but I think what we try to do is break it into sections so that you're looking at what's happening in each shot almost. As I say, we haven't filmed it yet, but we've written the script. But the idea of, so the nurse arrives at the house, is the parking safe? How is she accessing the house? That's sort of one aspect. Then her going through the door and what she, but I think it does very quickly become quite complex. So I think it is about making sure that what we choose isn't so complex that actually it's not feasible to use 360. So that's my experience. I don't know if that's similar to yourselves.
Okay, thank you so much. Shall we go on? Teija, are you ready?
Thank you, Tuija, and thank you, Catherine. I think we are doing the same here. Tina, could I have the other one? Not this one yet. This one, yes, thank you. Like you know me already, or I don't know if you remember that I'm a simulation instructor and I use simulation in my teaching. So for me, it's the main thing that I make good manuscript for the simulation. So that's why we also here in Turku, we think the same way. And this slide shows that we have 6 steps before we make the development for these 360 videos. Like Tina said before, that we have discovered what is our problem here in Turku, for example. It's that post-operative care, and we need more knowledge for our nursing student about these 6 protocols, for example. So that's why we choose that post-operative care. And also because we don't have so many practical clinical placements. So we have to think that now when the learners, the nursing students are on the 3rd year, no, the 3rd seminar, so they have been school 1 year and a half, so they don't have so much knowledge, and also they don't have so much experience from the working life. So what is the environment what we are using in a simulation that should be realistic? And like you all have, we also have good simulation environments, and like the operation room and recovery room, they are similar to normal hospital. And also before we go to 360 videos, we try this simulation with our students, and we think about the learning goals and objectives and look our curricula, what it says about the competence what nurse students should have when she finished this course, surgical nursing course. And I should have had this simulation already, but I have to reschedule it, and it's going to be in 2 weeks. And Juha and Sakari are going to join me and see how the live simulation goes and how the nursing students are making decisions, how they think or how they act in a patient care in a recovery room. So maybe that gives some ideas. What are the steps, like Catherine said, what are the video steps, what we are using in 360 videos. And also we are going to have, after simulation learning, discussions, and together with students we are going to talk what they think are the key points. What do we have to learn in an appendix operation patient? There are quite many, like I said here before, learning goals and protocols, but are those the main things what they think they should learn here? Could I have Tina the next one? Slide, yes. I could speak a lot about simulation because it's like all students say that it's very concrete experience. They are, they can feel like they are in the real recovery room. So in 360 videos, we are heading the same thing, I think. And also because they have to reflect their own acts and understand what they are doing and what knowledge they need. So also the 360 videos and all the things what we add there should how to say it, support that. And like in simulations, the role of the students should be active. And of course in 360 videos, it's going to be active, but also how we immerse students to place 360 videos, or like in simulation, we have to motivate them to have a good learning experience. But like I said, I don't have the video already here, but maybe next time we show you a shortcut about the video and live videos of simulation of this apedic patient. And the manuscript, it's a real human being who has been in a apedic operation 2 weeks ago. So I try to write that with Maya, who is also here, and it should be like a realistic patient manuscript. So I think that's enough for me.
Okay,
Thank you, Tiina and Tuija and
thank you. Do you
Teija.
have any questions?
Okay, I think we continue to Juha's and Sakari's presentation.
Okay. Hello, everybody. I need to share my screen. So let's see what happens. Okay, wrong camera here. Okay. Other try. All right, now you see my face, and then I need to get all my windows so that I can show my presentation to you. All right, let's go from there. So my name is Juha Saarinen. I'm working as a math teacher or lecturer at TUAS. And in this project, I'm doing the development of the editor with Sakari. So let's get to my PDF slide. So this is going to be the slide that I'm going to show you. The main purpose here is to kind of give you an idea what we are doing here and what is the purpose of the editor and how the video or the thing that is called simulation video in our system, how it will be different maybe from other editors and what's the purpose of to make our own one. But first things first, of course, like the project name suggests, it's 360 ViSi. So the main part of everything is this video node. And our simulation structure will be basically like blocks of these video nodes and connections between those. And every video node will have one 360 video in it, and then there are few ways to arrange the video inside. And now I will share you a video from the editor, and hopefully I get it going. So let's get there. And this video is trying to present you how, by the way, this is exactly the way the editor is currently looking and how it will work. Please, Sakari, if you have something to speak on top of this video, free, I will start it now.
Yeah, so in this video you can see how the basic building blocks, the video nodes themselves are created, and then you can pick a file from your hard drive to be represented in that video. And there is some minor adjustments you can do to the video in this editor as well, like clipping the starting and ending points of the video and setting the videos to loop or not. And of course you can pick the starting rotation of the user when that specific video is triggered.
Yeah. All right, so that is the basic block that are used to create this simulation structure. And now is the main point here is to start to produce your simulation, not as a one linear video that goes from one point to another, maybe from different rooms or something like that. Maybe you all have seen those guided tours with 360 videos or 360 images, and then you kind of can get to another point in place. But now you have ability to go also to other spot in time, or in our case also in other like change the patient's condition, so get other status or state of the situation through these 360 videos. So they are now starting to make this kind of a grid or a web of different states, and based on the user actions, the story will go inside this net of different states. And that's the kind of the idea here, to give you a ability to convert that real simulation environment to this kind of a video structure, that the nurse's action will change the outcome that you get next, not only the place in the scene or something like that. And then there is a short video how to like construct this web in our editor. So again, let's get to the player here and start the next video.
Yeah, so in this video, you can see in the start that I'm connecting the start node to the actual video, which represents that that video will be the first one that is played. Then I start adding a second video, and to link these, I'm using what we call actions. Later on, we'll discuss a bit more about them. And as the same way as I link the start, I'm linking that action to the end, meaning that the simulation will end when that action is triggered. And then there is some bit sped up footage of me creating a bit more complex branching structure, so you can maybe get an idea of what it will look like a bit later on when there are multiple videos used in the simulation.
Yeah, so this way you can really make whatever kind of a structure that you need in your simulation to be. And these actions are basically just like buttons in the scene. So one action can have only one output, but every video can have multiple. Well, they all have one port, but you can have multiple multiple nodes or paths to one video, but every action will have only one output. And that's the way the structures go. So these actions are basically buttons. There are a few different kind of buttons that you will see those in sec on that video. And that's the way to control which part of the 360 view will be clickable and where to get when you click on that. So let's get the next video on.
Yeah, so in this video, I'll go through setting up few different actions. The first action is what we call the world button. Yep, which means it's just an icon in the world that can represent certain action. In this case, it represents speaking to the surgeon. And then another action, what we call area button, that's better utilized in like marking an area that already exists in the video, like a table, a door, or something like that. And these are also linked to their like what we want to play when that area or icon is clicked in the video simulation.
Yeah, and there will be also, if you don't have any name, but the action for example, if you have like when the video is getting at the end, you can have this automated action. So the player or the nurse don't need to push anything, but the state will change when the video get to an end. And Was there any other, Sakari, that I forget?
Not at this point, but since we are doing this ourselves, anything that we kind of want to use in the actual simulation, we can obviously like do some actions for those interactions.
Yeah, and that's, by the way, something that we are eager to hear from you. If you have a vision that you need some feature maybe in our editor or in this video player, so please give us that information. It's nice to have feedback from others, what could be interesting. Of course, we are trying to achieve the same simulation that is done on simulation rooms, in real life simulation rooms, but on top of that, there might be some interesting things that you others want to see here. Okay, and then we have this extra note there. Those video notes are basically the structure, the backbone of the simulation. Then we have actions to get from one video note to another. And then we created these extra, we call those tool nodes, that are, you can add these between your videos. So there could be questions, and if you link those questions, you get questionnaires. You could have random router, so it kind of randomize your path, the next state, and of course different kind of selections, like what do you want to do next type of things, and of course this extra information, but part is also tool nodes, so give something extra information, images or text, when you need help or need to know more, for example, some tool there. But let's see how those looks in our editors. So here's our player and here's our tool nodes.
So yeah, the first tool I'm showing is the info that can be used to just give a pop-up inside the video simulation of some text or an image, kind of like a like the magnifier class or something like that. Then there is the randomizer, which can be used to split the simulation in randomly, like selected. As you can see, I'm adding 3 nodes or 3 ports, and that the simulation then every time it's played randomizes one of those results. So we can create some randomized events. And then the next one is the question. I'm gonna show how these tool nodes can be used to create kind of chains of nodes that are not videos, but in the end they will become, or they will lead up to a video at some point. So we can use like multiple questions even to chain to decide what would be the next video that the user should see. So you can see that not everything needs to be represented as a video. This can be used kind of a shortcut or an addition to create the simulation.
Yes, and of course those questions and questionnaires are also tools for teachers to test the learning of the students and so on. So they don't need to only be as a part of the simulation itself. They can be also like extra features, if you will, on your system. Okay, and the last part is briefly to talk about these save, load, export, import kind of things, because all that you see here in the editor, it's happening inside the editor. The only external things are those video files. And the structure of the editor, all those nodes and the lines between the nodes are saved on pretty simple JSON file structure. It's just a text file basically. And because of this simple structure, it's pretty easy to save your state in the editor if you want to continue your process, and of course load your save, but also export your ready-made simulation and import some ready-made simulation and maybe change something and do another export from that. And the idea behind this is to make it as easy as possible to teacher to share the content and the ideas, and maybe we could have someday some kind of a way to even make a kind of higher level editor, so you could make these simulators like these simulations as a one node in our editor, so you could get into one already made simulation, run that through, and after that simulation you can maybe get to another simulation, so you can maybe make nested simulations in this way. And this is something that we are trying to do. And now I stop sharing my screen and let Sakari to take control and show one specific example of this editor, and then it will go smoothly to ADE's hands through that example. So I will stop sharing. First I show my nice head there and find stop share button there. So thank you, and Sakari, please.
Yep. So I hope you can see my screen now. This is the actual simulation structure we built for to share with ADE, and they will talk about more on what they did with this actually. But as you can see, it's quite simple one. It's just a demonstration. But here you can see, like, again, the node structure, and there is the ability to save as and open these projects up, and they will then end up in these sort of files that are very human readable if you are accustomed with these kind of files, but no one actually needs to read, because that's what we don't want the users to have to do, because we just save this file or press the export button and then share that file, and then we can open multiple of these later on, and these are the like shareable part. But I will let Ade talk a bit more about the how they are using these files.
One comment, by the way, if I may, those videos that you see, they are all the same file. So there is only one cost, the 360 MP3 file, but inside those video notes, there are those starting and ending.
Yeah, I can actually show
marks.
you. Like for the first video, we're using this like a shopping center part of the video. Here there is a different part of the video that represents like a playground, but we're cutting kind of this part of the video, and then the actions that are set in this video node here are only visible during this part, because this is the only part that's shown during this node. Yeah. I think that's all for me. I think.
Yeah, I have nothing to add.
Yep.
Sorry, Tuomas, we can't hear you.
Can you hear me now? Any better?
Yes.
Yeah, you can.
You are a bit quiet. If you can shout out loud, it would make it easier.
Okay, right. Well, I'll try to adjust my settings here for a bit. No, well, yeah. Well, I see I don't have any adjustments there, but I'll speak up. So yeah, I'm Tuomas Rantasalo. I'm the project manager for this project at ADE. And what we've seen today and discussed were first concerning the creation and of the simulations is first coming up with the manuscript, and it's not as straightforward as one might think. But if you have been able to come up with the manuscript, get the director for the video, shot the video, edited it, the 360 video, and then you have now, following today's lessons, you have now imported those files into the new tool that Juha and Sakari have created, and then you have created a simulation. And so what you have on your hand now there is like this groundbreaking new simulation, and you're ready to use it to revolutionize the learning experience of your chosen field, I'm sure. But the thing is that now with that tool, the files and the simulation itself, it resides on your computer, on your local machine, and that's something that where we come in now. So taking those files from that editor, we were tasked with creating a player, kind of as universal as it could be created. To share that, because if you have created this amazing simulation, you will want to be sharing it. We all crave that peer recognition, don't we? So you want to get that out to the world, and we can help you there with our tool. So what we have created here is a it's a tool. Yeah, that I think that is the word for it. And what it does is take in those files that come out of the editor, and they publish it to the interwebs. I could show you a small video here. To show what I'm talking about. There we go. Yeah, this is actually the exact same, based on those same files that Sakari was showing in the, at the very ending. But this recording is taking now of a browser. So what we are using here is a browser that has, through our tool, the files from the editor have been imported. And the functionality here is quite simple. Still with, and those tools there, create hotspots, create name labels. They are not going to be present in the like finished product. They're just for the development. But it works now. This is like and you can later test it for yourself for this exact example. I think Yassi will be sending out the link to everyone. But the limitations in the demo here is just we only have those when Juha was talking about those actions and tools. We have only implemented the actions for now, meaning that in this player one can only jump from one video to another, or one kind of clip might be within the same video. But anyway, there's the structure, the web of paths through the video is there. But what's still missing is those extra tools like the questions and quiz tools and extra info and randomizer and what have you. But adding those is going to be a relatively small step compared to what we've done like here, because they are and we will be able to support everything that comes out of the editor, and I think then other things as well later on. But so yeah, as I told you, this is now a player that is working online. So it's a recording of a browser, and so that means the first idea of sharing those simulations that you've created is this approach of putting them on a website, or actually kind of creating an interface for everyone themselves to upload them, and then the tool does its magic. You get a link, you share the link, and anyone with the link can then access the simulation and use it, hopefully also using whatever kind of device they might have, including mobile devices and virtual reality, like proper headsets. But we're starting with just like desktop-based simulation. But the mobile device and the virtual reality headset, there should be no problem getting them to work too. We have done it with these tools previously as well. But then now thinking of sharing the simulations using like this website, it's kind of an obvious idea, and but it does have some issues, I think, that we need to think about. Maybe not so much technical issues, but kind of administrative. For example, when there's a website like web service, this service that one uses to share your simulations, of course, someone needs to maintain the website and stuff like that, and pay for it continuing existence. But also we would need to talk about like what kind of sharing we want to be doing. Do we want to have the simulations available to anyone who gets the link, or do we want to manage the access somehow? For example, only share it with specific people. They need to log in before they can use, or do we maybe want to like have some kind of logs of who's been using it for how long? Maybe even some like get the results of the questions that are answered in the simulations. So this is something we will need to, I think, discuss together. And well, as it so happens, ADE also has some tools to maybe help with that sharing and managing the sharing if we are using the website approach. but I think we also need to think of other ways to share the simulations, not only the website, or at least look into what are the kind of real life situations where the user stories, if you will, where you created the simulation and want to get it out there. Like what would be the kind of straightforward, intuitive way for you to do that? Is it a website, or is it something else in some other case? So I think so. This is where we are now. We are quite far. I think we are a bit too far, considering that according to the great master timetable, we have now only been working for 3 months, and there's quite a few months to go. But I think we will achieve great things with this, and yeah. And as I mentioned, Jussi will be sharing the link for the demo, I think, with everyone, so you can click around. It's the same that you see here, but it's online now. So that's where we are now, and what we've done. And when I say we, I mostly mean Karla and our Supreme programmer. Thank you.